I'm definitely very attracted to black men, so I was very excited to see that, you know,
Okay.
you were here today.
So you only date black guys?
Thus far, yeah.
Oh, really?
How about you? Do you date outside your race, or?
Yeah, hell yeah, he did outside his race.
Yeah, I date outside of my race a bit,
Okay.
typically. In the circles I run in different cultures and different women.
I don't care what race of woman he's dating. She's not putting up with that foolery.
And not a lot of black women that I run into to date. And then black women hit you with the, I don't want to get my hair wet. I like to jump in, I like to go to the beach. I like to do a lot of outdoor things.
Oh, he talking about somebody's hair?
Right. See, I told you.
What's up, guys? It's Shamika Sanders here with my lovely co-host Kiara Kelly and guest co-host Africa Miranda. Hey, girl, hey.
Welcome to the table, girl.
Looking fabulous. All this melanin in one spot. You are watching another episode of Listen to Black Woman starting now. Ooh, child. We're gonna get into today's topic of interracial dating, aka all the black men we see with white women in Hollywood. Just kidding, a little deeper than that. Well, Michael B. Jordan was spotted on a yacht with a bunch of white women, and I mean, he's just been spotted around town gallivanting with a series of white women. On vacation, he tried to play it off and say it was his bro's girlfriend, but he was canoodling with her. I don't know, all of these things. All of this leading to our question of the week. Why do black women feel so hurt when we see our black men with white women? Ladies.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. And she is not what I really think is, you know, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices because when pressed or asked about it, a lot of them have really lame excuses. Like Michael did the whole thing about milk flavors. And I was just like,
So weird.
right, like just say you like what you like and this is not it or this is it.
My problem with it is that I feel like Michael B. Jordan's fan base has been built on the backs of black women. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose his audience. So now he's clamoring and he's all these milk analogies and it's really strange. But we see this so often in Hollywood.
Yeah, and we're seeing right through it because all of those types of explanations, they just read as superficial and inauthentic. It's like, just own it, brother. I think it hurts me as well, only because I see black partnership as a black investment back into our communities. And when you look at our families, you know, the first person you love is your uncle or your father, and you see this example of black men and black women loving each other, and to think that a black man maybe like went through his life without wanting to build that same type of family, it can be very hurtful. And I do think there is this overarching belief that a lot of us are dating and marrying outside of our race. So far, I think it's 89% of the current men who are married are still married to black women, but that does not acknowledge how that statistics has evolved over time because these new brothers,
The new niggas.
they ain't doing what your daddy was doing back in the day. They on a new wave, which is a lot of times dating outside their race or this whole exotic thing and stuff.
It's hard sometimes with conversations like these, and I think a reason a lot of black women don't even like to talk about it publicly is because, like you said, you don't want to be labeled as angry or desperate. And I mean, I know personally, I don't want to frame my whole life like around the fact of whether or not some black man opts to choose me or not. But I think it's valid to be able to say this is how we feel because we're already black women that exist in a world where we are not considered the standard of beauty. And then to have, you know, the men that look like you and the men that you, like you said, you loved your uncles and your fathers and your brothers, and these men that you grow up thinking that you're going to choose and they're going to choose you back, are getting the same message that, their sisters and moms and cousins are great, but that's not who they're going to, you know, or necessarily choose or think are, you know, are beautiful. So it is hard.
Now let's see what social media has to say about this. We wrote about this Michael B. Jordan story on HelloBeautiful.com, and we went to the comment section where Tarita M. Ingram said this: I feel like the narrative that black women are affected by it is false.
Okay, so we have to kind of qualify affected. I don't think it means we're not sleeping, we're not eating, we're just awake at night going, why is Michael B. Jordan with a white woman?
I did for one night, but okay.
The majority of black women are not losing sleep because Michael B. Jordan decided to go on a yacht in Italy with 3 women. I just want to go to Italy, whether or not he's there
or not,
or you know, or not. So. We should be able to talk about it again without being labeled as angry, desperate.
I'm also going to say, I didn't feel like Michael B. Jordan was going to get with a black woman anyway. Did anyone else feel that way? I don't look at Michael B. Jordan and think he's going to be with a sister. There are also some comments on our Facebook page about Michael B. Jordan. Janelle Marie said, I don't have a problem with interracial couples as long as the black women aren't being put down to lift another race up. At the end of the day, let that man be. He's grown.
Thank you, Janelle.
I agree with Janelle.
Thank you. I think that's
Fine. I mean,
It doesn't mean I'm not going to side eye.
right. Like I might suck my teeth a bit.
A little.
But
Yeah.
again, if you're not putting us down to live your life,
It just really makes me wonder why they like these white women. You were talking about this too, though.
we have all been conditioned that white is right, from beauty, from success, like that version of whiteness and what it should look like. So whether consciously or subconsciously, these men and women, like everyone that exists in this society, is buying into that.
Yeah.
And you're fighting every day to really fight against it. And I just think a lot of these men are not fighting it. They've just they think that they're choosing, but really it's being chosen for them.
Okay, so as always, we talk to you guys about this subject, and we asked, as a black woman, do you care when a high-profile black man dates a white woman? With 38% saying yes and 62% saying no. All right, so all y'all watching this, y'all don't care?
The lies!
Okay.
The lies!
Comments tell a different story.
Right. But apparently y'all don't care. But again, maybe we have to qualify care, because if they don't wake up at night thinking about it, maybe they're like, I don't really care.
Okay.
We also asked, we discussed the interracial relationships between high-profile black men and white women because we just like talking about celebrities. That was 42%. 33% said, I don't discuss this. And 25% said, because it further pushes the notion that white is right. We discuss interracial relationships the same way we would on the internet as we do in real life. I think anytime you're navigating these spaces and you see these pairings, you might think or feel a way. It's just on the internet, you have free range to comment on all of it.
These are the people we see. So, I mean, of course, we're going to talk about celeb interracial relationships more than like the man that lives up the street that's married to somebody, because it's not as interesting. We're more invested in these men and in who they choose because they represent what we consider to be the best version of like black men. So, of course, we're invested in who they choose.
And I think we're invested in these people's lives. Like actors and movies and sports are escapism for us. So then when these people who we are looking up to escape from us, we do feel away. So, I mean, to put it like that. And social media. We're looking at these things every day.
Like,
it's part of our daily
10
conversations.
years ago, we wouldn't have known who was on his boat on vacation because we wouldn't have seen it. So now we know how they spend all of their time. So we are then we feel some kind of way about like every movement. When really, if we didn't see it, we wouldn't feel probably as much as good or bad about it.
I think the solution here is for black men, date, marry, love black women. Which I know is super hypocritical because I've dated white men. I have. But one thing I do think, for black women, if we're really hurt about it, we need to open up our vantage point of who we're looking at to date, because they ain't stopping what they doing. So
in 2018, to carry that kind of hurt about men dating outside, black men dating outside their race, that's not going to stop. So I think that we can acknowledge how we feel about it, but I think part of it is opening up your horizons and saying, okay, I'm open to love in different places. But it's also, I think, challenging black men. If you're watching this, don't label a black woman that questions or, maybe feels some hurt about who you choose to date and love, and labeling her as being bitter and angry and hating on you and this woman, whatever. And also asking yourself, why did you make that choice? Because I think the issue for so many black women is, one is the hurt of seeing it, but it's really more hurtful when you get this really tired explanation of why that's based in us not being good enough, or being a headache, or being this type of personality, or we're not around. So that's for me the issue.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Listen to Black Women. You can watch it on HelloBeautiful.com and MadameNoir.com. Until next week, guys. See you later.
Who are you?
Michelangelo.
Okay,
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I've been out with black women or approached black women, and before they even knew me, they said, how many kids you got? How many baby mamas you got? Dating outside my race, I haven't had no issues like that at all.
Okay, and you are?
I'm Coro.
Coro.
I've been practicing abstinence for 3 years. 3 years with no sex. I'm looking for someone that can respect my views on this, someone that can love me for me.
And you are?
Bo.
Bo.
Yeah, I don't date black women now because of past experiences. They like to place that strong personality on you, and sometimes you just kind of, stand a woman's place.
So do you have any idea why you're here?
We share some of the same
Opinions.
About?
Why are black women so angry?
Was your mother angry?
To a certain degree, yes. She had that anger inside of her, but she made sure that she didn't pass it on to me. I see how she handles that, and she gives off that vibe that I get from women here, but when it came to me and how she approached me and taught me about women, she said, don't deal with this.
That's interesting, because as a black mother,
Yeah.
my work was to help my son understand it so that he would know how to stand in it with a black woman. Why are you here?
My situation's a little bit different because I traveled a lot when I was a kid, very talented, very gifted musically. So because of that, when I came back to my neighborhood, when I was dealing with certain black women, you're different. You talk funny, you dress funny, the music you listen to is funny. I don't like being because I had flip-flops on or I had a turtleneck, I'm gay. The problem I'm having is just because you're my culture and you're black, you don't get a pass. All the women in my family, I got a side of cousins that made me feel weird about that.
How can anybody make you feel anything? You get to choose how you feel.
You don't know that when you're kids, it's a psychological imprint.
What does that have to do with today?
Now, with a black woman, I have this in my mind before I even talk to you, she's gonna think I'm weird. And that bothered me a lot.
When I went to junior high school, I got bussed from Ocean Hill, Brownsville to Flatbush, and they spit on me and called me a nigger. They spit on me. And I was 13. And these were adults, not the children. So my point is this, that don't have nothing to do with who I am today. What is your experience?
A lot of black women, they don't want to talk to me. Some of them don't want to talk to me. Some of them don't want to talk to me because, number one, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't believe, like right now, I'm practicing abstinence. I'm not having any sex whatsoever.
Why you ain't in the church?
I am in the church. I'm gonna tell you about the church women. If you don't have a collar, they don't want to talk to you. I'm straight up.
But
if you don't have a collar, they
do
don't
you
want to
know
talk
what
to
the
you.
collar represents, though?
I guess it's purity or, you know, leadership or, I don't know, a divine.
How about power?
Yeah.
How about power? That's what it represents.
Okay.
But let me tell you why I've called you here today. I've invited you here because my intention is to dismantle the myth of the angry black woman. I believe it's a myth. As a black woman, I believe it's a myth. I invited you here for a mixer tonight, just to be with some women, all kinds of women, all ages. We all have a story, we all have an experience, and we all get to choose. Tonight you get to choose how you're gonna experience these women. But I do also wanna thank you for being here. Thank you for being a demonstration, because I know there are hundreds of thousands of black men, all ages, who've had these experiences, and I believe, and it's my intention, for us to heal.
I disagree with this whole idea.
I don't buy it. I really don't.
I don't think that swirling happens on lower levels than we think it does.
No doubt. No
it really
question.
does.
No
What do you mean by that?
Like, there aren't that many black men marrying that many white women. It's not, the numbers are not that high. The statistics say so.
The profiles might be higher, so people say, okay, well, you know, Kanye did it, so now this means X, Y, Z. You know, this ball player did it, so
Not even that many
all
of them,
good. But even, exactly, like even, even that narrative.
Those are the exceptions, though,
even
bro.
that narrative.
Those are the exceptions.
That's the thing, like we said about the negative.
No
The
question.
negative gets put out there, and it just gets fed into for whatever reason.
The negative is more exciting.
The majority of the married black men I know who are in great positions, black women.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Me
the
too.
majority.
Me too.
But like I said, most of them, they're not on the internet, they're not on Twitter. So as far as this conversation goes, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Right.
The angrier people are the ones that make the most noise. And
Right.
that's why they determine what the narrative is going to be that we talk about.
Truth.
The swirling thing it's in your mind, some of it. A lot of it's just in your mind.
And we also know we all can walk out with 10 black women, but the first white woman we walk out with is
It's a problem.
Oh my God! No, you know, but you know.
You living the dream.
When it comes to money, oftentimes black men may attain a certain level financially and then enter a different realm of life.
Right.
And within that different realm, there may be more white women there.
Right.
Here's my
True.
coworker.
That's possible.
That's what it
It
is.
may just be if you hit that $1 million mark, for example. So
Not even though, but I hear
around,
you.
you know,
I feel
and
you.
unfortunately, we are conditioned to believe that white is
Right.
is that level of success. We're
Yeah.
not gonna lie and say it's
No,
not.
it's true. Yeah.
But you know.
I don't know any dudes who are like, if I get a white chick, I'm winning.
I don't know.
I'm
no,
speaking historically. I'm speaking
That's
more
the-
like
But
on
I'm
the deeper.
I'm sure historically, yes. I'm
introduced
talking about just
someone
right now.
Yeah.
They
If a
said
guy,
that.
if a guy says that, he's getting barked on.
Wait,
I heard a guy
He's
say
getting barked.
he's married to a black woman,
Right.
right? And I was talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, you know, yo, my next wife, she's gonna be white. I'm not doing no black woman. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm crazy.
that's crazy.
That blew my mind. I'm
Right.
like, wow.
Did you bark on him though?
No, I'm not gonna bark on him. He's a grown man. You can do it.
You
7
guys were
months.
friends? Or what was
No,
the
no,
first-
no.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay.
No, no,
okay.
no.
I thought he was your friend. Okay.
No.
You know, you barked on him, right? You did bark.
I respect that. I respect that.
That's what you gotta do. Like sometimes you say something crazy.
But
like,
really,
hold up,
but
man,
at the
wait
same
a minute.
time,
But
at
he
the same
has
time,
6 children with the black woman. So him saying that, you know, I want a white woman after
Lucky
being
number
married
6.
6 children.
Right.
And he ready for the next wife too.
Right.
And he's thinking about next wife.
You need to slow down.
that's a good point though. I don't know if that's really is your responsibility to be like to tell this man he can't.
I don't think
be
you should
with
ever
this white
tell
woman.
a man what
Right.
to do, but I think it depends on the circumstance.
It's
Let's put it
not
this-
telling,
I think
right.
if you're being
It's just
disrespectful,
Right.
it's at least a point
Okay.
to ask.
Understood.
Yeah, well, like you can't tell another man what
Right.
to do.
Do.
Right.
But you like,
Like
really?
you ain't Dame Dash or something. Like, you know, this is what a man does.
You
I wouldn't want
you know, you
I
gotta
wouldn't want a
say-
black man to demean black women and go off. I
Right.
wouldn't want.
No,
I would talk
that's
to you
demean.
before. You know
Right,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
He didn't demean it. He didn't
Right,
demean
right.
it.
He
You
just
know,
speaking to
he
his
spoke
experience.
on his
Right.
experience.
Okay.
There wasn't like
Now
I
he
can't
wants-
stand
right.
black
Okay, yeah, that's different.
No,
It's
yeah.
the same thing,
right.
like, you know, like they go back to that Dennis Rodman story. He was like, you know, the black women around my neighborhood called me ugly when I was younger. So then when he got to his position, he was like, I don't mess with him.
When he was ugly though.
He is.
So, but I'm saying,
That's
so it's like
hilarious.
that's kind of how that one example, that one exception, you see maybe like a handful of them, like, okay, that's what happens because that's what's being seen more,
Right.
versus what the reality on the ground actually is.
Now, but the issue but black women must think this, or it's not a question, right? So, like, the disconnect is there, but why is that? I don't know. I mean, media, yes, but this has been going on before social media, obviously. This has been going on for
Years.
Years and years
Slavery
and years and
time,
years.
too, yeah.
And it's better now than what it was 50 years ago, 30 years ago in the 80s. In the 80s, it was an issue in the 80s. It's not an issue now, but it still exists as a thing for black women to consider.
Right.
And that might be a failing on our part somehow for not getting that message across. Like, hey, that's dead.
Right.
You know?
We
I
need
think,
to.
I think it's a combination issue because yes, there's the crossover, but I think it also goes when you have so many men who aren't staying with their black women. Even if they don't go to a white woman and just leave, like it's hitting them from both ends. It's like, okay, you're either going with the white woman
Right.
or you're not staying.
Right.
So now it just
Either way,
makes
you're
you
not
say,
here.
like either way,
Right.
we're not wanted after you've
Right.
done whatever you've done. So I can see it from that angle.
So what about the brothers that like they tried to mess with the black women, but the black woman wasn't really giving them no rhythm, and then the white woman.
Who are these brothers?
No, I know brothers like this because you know, yes, I know a lot of brothers like that who
So they was like, I want to date black girls. And black girls.
It's
like,
not that know it wasn't like a conscious decision. It's just that the white women were feeling them more.
Yeah.
You know, like they were all. You know, people like you say, times
I mean,
change. We
look,
get to mingle with
Those
everybody.
things are all right. You know, I don't know. I had my experience is very segregated. Like high school, black college.
Right.
Like most of my friends are black. You know, I have white friends, but most of my white
many
friends
you got? How
are
many white
white
friends
males.
If you can count. If you count.
I have a lot. I have like
How many?
8.
That's a high count.
I got a lot.
That's a high count. I only got like 2 friends, so you're doing good.
That's a lot.
You're doing good.
That's a lot. You got one for every day of the week, right?
Right, and twice on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Doing big things.
You
You
know what I
made
mean?
it.
But I don't have a lot of white female friends. And that's just happenstance. I don't know why that is, but that's what it is.
Right.
And you know, I had white coworkers, and they once tried to set me up one of their friends. You know, and because I've mentioned this to them about me only dating black girls, and they were like, "What?" You know, and I was like, "But I don't not date white women. I only just date black women." You know, I try to explain to them like that, because then otherwise they might have felt a little bit like
Offended?
Right.
And I was like, if you set the date up, I will go. You know, I didn't think they were going to do it.
Right.
I thought they were just saying it just to be saying it. We having a discussion at work that you don't think that's real.
Right.
Next day, we're set up. I'm like, okay, wow.
This is real.
And we're, so we went to 40-40 Club. This is when it first opened. This is like,
Let's go.
This is like 04, 05, right? And I was like, wow, I'm about to you know, here I go. You know, I had never had a date with a white girl ever in life. And you know, we get there, you know, we're sitting down. You know, there were a lot of black folks in the room.
Looking at you.
Black women in the vicinity. I was like, they're not staring at me. I'm bugging. They're like, looking at me. I'm bugging, you know.
Dude,
but I felt like it in my mind that they were.
No doubt.
And so we talked, you know, da-da. We ordered, da-da-da. We got, you know, we paid the check. We left. You know, I shook her hand. You know, dinner was nice. Da-da-da. Boom. And that was, so the next day, it was like, what happened with the girl? I was like, it was cool, but nah. And it wasn't because she was white. We didn't have any connectivity.
Right.
But I don't know if that connectivity was because she was white. I don't know. And I didn't really try to find out because I didn't care.
Right.
You know
At
what I
that
mean?
point. With the black women
Because you
that
didn't
were
want
there,
to.
I didn't really
want to.
No,
You
already
shut off to it.
There are so many dope black girls that it's not really a thing for me to be like, yo, I'm swirling. It's just
See, my whole thing with that, real quick, is that I just want to be able to relate to somebody, right? I want, you know, like when somebody get beat up at UVA, I want to be able to speak to somebody that, you know, understands why this hurts to see something like that, right? You know, not like somebody going, oh, how do you feel about this? You know, like.
She gotta know stuff.
You know what I mean?
She gotta know.
I don't want to have to translate. I don't want to have to be the cultural translator of this. I just want to be able to. You just get it. You just get it.
You don't know who Fannie Lou Hamer is. I ain't got time to explain this to you. Like, I don't have time for these conversations. I don't have time for these conversations.
if I Google it, yeah, bro, Fannie Lou.
Yeah.